Welcome back to another episode of At Home Discoveries. Of course, I've got Thomas Lipham, the program director from the Museum of Discovery, with me. This time, we're talking about a do-it-yourself board game, something you can do at home where you're going to be learning math and being creative and just have a lot of fun.
That's exactly right. The materials are incredibly basic, but the fun can last really long. What we're going to do is create our own board game. The materials, like I said, super simple. We've got paper, markers, scissors, some little cardboard tabs, some sort of a straight edge, and some dice.
Got it. That's easy enough. So what have you made here?
So I've made a couple different versions. This is what I'd like to call a snake game. Okay. So the concept is pretty basic, where you start on one end, you roll a die, and that determines how far you go. And then the next person rolls their die, and you go back and forth until you get to the finish.
Gotcha. Now,
if you don't have the time to do a Google search for a snake dice game and print this off, you can make one in approximately 15 seconds. Yeah. So it doesn't have to look real fancy, but the idea is that it's versatile. And then once you have your basic game, you can start teaching the basics of addition. So if you have early childhood age kid at your house, if you have like a kindergartner or a little bit younger, you can start teaching basic addition. What's great about the die is when you roll them, all you have to do is ask your kiddo to count it up. Okay. And then, if they're able to, or if they're willing to, you can separate them out and you can have them count them individually and say 6 plus 4 equals 10. And they'll be able to add up those individual dots very easily. So it's a great way to introduce addition with the incentive of getting to play a game in the process. So if you look here, I've got the oh-so-fun game of Get to the Museum of Discovery. Because we are open and we're ready for you guys to come here. But if you come over here and hit what's called a penalty tile, dun dun dun, I-30 traffic, you go back a little bit. So you can have a penalty in your game. And then if you get over here, hey, guess what? You found a parking spot. You jump up. So just like Candyland or Chutes and Ladders, different games like that, you can have penalty and bonus tiles. And these can be themed to anything. You can, just as far as the creativity can go, it can be animal themed. It can be backyard themed. It can be fantasy. It can be anything that you want. And the whole while, they'll be using creativity, very affordable materials at home, and learning probability and math.
Right, and you said on the math part, just counting, but also just understanding what the roll of a dice and the odds of landing on different ones can be. But, learning and also being creative and drawing some. I think your drawing was wonderful, too, by the way. Yeah.
So if you want to take that to the next level, you can do what I call a free-form board game. So with this one, you go to the Museum of Discovery, but once you're there, you can take any path that you want. So this is a little bit more open-ended. It's almost like an RPG or a role-playing game using dice, where you can come. If you've ever been to the Museum of Discovery, this is my rendition of the whoosh. So we have that back on and running for one family at a time. So this is our scarves getting shot out of the whoosh. And if you want to go over and do the heartbeat exhibit in Amazing You, you can come over and do bed of nails. So in this game, I would maybe limit it to maybe 5 dice rolls, and then you'd run out of time or something like that. Maybe you could add a second one over that's the River Market that has some of your favorite food spots, like David Burgers or something like that. So you can really be creative, and you can expand these and add on to them and tape them together and really just have fun with it.
Absolutely. So this is a great way to continue to be stimulated by math during the summertime, or maybe even for parents, if you're watching this with your kids, something you can do on a math segment, and also for the kids to just have a little fun with some markers, some scissors, and just pieces of paper with the grids, and just have a little fun making their own thing.
That's right. If you have some older kids, say in like upper elementary, even in middle school, you can get into the idea of probability. So if we roll this, there's a 1 in 6 chance that it's going to land on a 1. And if I were to take everything away and we take this new set of probability, what's the chance that it lands on 1 in 6? Well, it's going to be 1 in 6 yet again. Now, if we take the chance of rolling a 1 and saying it's going to roll a 1 again the second time, it takes it from 2 chances of 1 in 6 to actually a 1 in 36 chance to roll 2 1s in a row. So it can get a little complicated when you hear it, but as you actually try it, if you want to start charting it, you can chart the sums of multiple dice roll. You can see how different sums are more common than others. So we have a basic graph right here that shows you what the chance is that you're going to get a certain sum. Say like 7 or 8 is more likely than, say, Snake Eyes rolling a 2 or getting a 12, which is going to be 2 6s. So you can get into probability if your kiddo is up for that.
And your age range is pretty broad too. So this can be from someone who's just learning how to count, like you said, with the dice, or also even just learning the probabilities with dice.
That's
really
right.
fun there. All right, well, that's going to do it for this at-home discovery episode. A little bit different, but certainly something that you can have fun doing at home. And of course, creating your own board game with all the different scenarios and penalties, but learning math all at the same time. And Thomas and I are going to have a little fun with his board games here in just a minute. Until next time, we'll see you.